Hey guys, morning. So I was going to upload a video this week of the dogfish tournament that we fished yesterday at Johnny Mercer Pier in Wrightsville Beach, but the tournament, just to be honest, was terrible. I think they had something like 200 entries and one person caught a dogfish, and second place went to the person that caught a blowfish. So 2 fish caught by 200 people in like 7 hours of fishing. And while I love Johnny Mercer Pier, that is the first and last time I'm going to fish the dogfish tournament because that was kind of horrendous. So in lieu of that, I'm going to do a tour today of my little fishing sanctuary. I have a storage unit here. It's about 1.5 miles from my house. That's where I keep my pair of Old Town Autopilots. I've got them right here on a trailer, and I didn't really have any place to keep them in my townhouse. There's just not enough space there in the driveway, and I use the garage for work. So I actually have I think it's a 10 by 20 storage unit. Fits the trailer nicely, and I've also outfitted it for holding all my fishing stuff, which is pretty extensive. I fish multi-species. So far I've just posted catfish videos this year because that's what I fish for in the winter. But spring, summer, fall, I go all over the place and fish for different things throughout North Carolina, Virginia. I got a trip planned in Tennessee. We do South Carolina sometimes too. So I'm going to walk you through some of my setup. Some things I bought. Other things I just had extra materials laying around from when I've built other things for work or storage. And I'll just give you a quick run through. It's mostly clean. I try to be fairly organized, but you know, it is what it is. I use this space a lot, and it gets a little bit messy, but I'll just kind of show you how I have things laid out. So here's the overall layout of Chris Pro Shops. As you can see, I have lots of rods. I'll go over that a little bit, mention some of my favorite brands and what I have and why I have them. Keep my trolling motors over here on the wall, and the landing gear for, you know, if I need to pull the kayak somewhere. Got a little workbench area with a lot of my equipment organized. And then some shelving with other things, so I'll go over that just a little bit. So why don't we start on this side. I kayak fish a lot. I've got 2 of them, so I keep crates up there, and they're just an easy way to, you know, throw things in the kayak and store things. I also do a lot of live bait fishing. Got a bunch of minnow buckets. Pegboard is really helpful for holding rigs and other things. Buy a lot of stuff sometimes. Of course we get a train. Buy a lot of stuff, sometimes in bulk, and I don't always use everything, so I keep them in the packaging. Hold rigs over here that I've pre-tied, and then it's also a nice way to organize all of the different lines that I have, whether it's a full spool or something I'm just using for leader material. And I built this, you know, again, just scrap material, but everything works well, and the nice thing is you can build things out in the storage unit. Over here is got shelving just to hold other things, a lot of different gear. So I use some of the small, I don't know what size boxes those are, but those are the ones I you know, may normally take, and I keep a bunch of extra boxes because I like to build out custom boxes depending on where I'm going. So everything here is labeled. You kind of get a sense of all the different things that I have. And then some of the larger series boxes, you know, depending again on how much space I need. I do a lot of live bait fishing, and so I keep got a bunch of battery powered fish aerators, and then different trolling buckets for keeping live bait alive. A little redundant. And the spring through fall. I also, when I pier fish, and I'll show you at some point when we go back to the pier, bring one of these buckets to keep live bait in and just tie a longer line on. Saw that years ago on a pier, and I find that's a pretty easy way to keep a couple baits alive if you're fishing with live bait on the pier. Bottom row, just more stuff, fish fryer, Another nice live bait cooler I got, and this is the battery box that I built for my live scope, and I've got to put a link down below for that. Sometimes I do anchor, even though I have an autopilot. It's just more convenient to anchor in a river if I'm fishing that way, or I don't want to bring the motor, so I've got that. And I found that these Stanley tool organizers are a really nice way to keep all the weights that I have organized. So I just do it by type and size. So I used to try to drag this to the pier, and it was kind of crazy because these weigh like 40 or 50 pounds, especially the big one. So it's just a nice way to have everything organized. I'll grab a couple before I go to the river or the beach or wherever I'm fishing. I need some weights. I've got a trash can, simple trash can, just to kind of keep all the long stuff corralled. So paddles, old nets, things for filming, things like that. Over here, I built this, I guess, workbench area out of 2x4s, and I had some leftover, not so much plywood, I guess particle board from some other shelving units that I just laid down. That's 2 feet wide and 4 feet long, and holds things pretty well. I keep all my coolers up there. I've got other bins to store everything from lots of plastics to spools of line, scents, tools, again, a little bit of everything that I just keep up there. This is the workbench area. Obviously it's a little bit of a mess right now, but to be honest, it kind of always is. I use it pretty constantly, so I'll get it messy, clean it up every couple of weeks. Probably need to add some lighting. I don't have lighting in this unit, but I do keep a little DeWalt light right here because I've got a gazillion of their tools, and that's a really nice thing to have. And it works really well to light up the whole unit easily. And in the spring and summer, I've got a little fan here, which is nice just to crank on and bring an extra battery, and so I keep cool and can keep everything lit up if I work late. Down here, keep another one of the large coolers. So I live bait fish again a lot, and actually I've got the bigger coolers I've kind of converted to, I can use them as a cooler or I can use them to transport fish. And I bought this one last spring because it has gaskets, so it's less likely to slosh when I'm bringing lots of bait and I want fish juice in the back of my car. So I can maybe do a video on that later. These bins, these are all from Lowe's. They are Commander XXL bins. Let's see, what is it, 27 gallons. They're really nice just to throw things in and keep things organized. So basically, this bin here is what I always bring when I go kayak fishing, and I keep all the stuff that I use on a regular basis. So PFD, rod holders. I keep the head unit for my Garmin in there. Lately I've been doing a lot of, I don't know, whatever those things are. And I have another bin for other things I regularly use, and again, they're just kind of thrown in right now. But got another fish finder that Jess normally uses, nets, a little bit of everything, and they're stored there, easy to find. So, and then I hang a lot of portable things up here. So if I just want to go to a pond or I'm fishing in the middle of a river, it's easy to access. And let's see what else we have. Oh, in the summer and spring, I start to do night fishing, and so I'll show you guys at a later point how I do my setup for that. But I have a couple of the what are those? God, I am having some difficulty with word retrieval today. PVC. I've got PVC pipes that have the lights for my nighttime fish finding or crappie fishing. So I'll show you how I build those at a future date. Okay, well, let's take two. So I have my autopilot motors hung up here, and this is just a Rubbermaid fast track that I bought again at Lowe's. I think it was like 10 bucks for the track, and then like 10 bucks for each of the holders, but this works really well to get all of my motors and other things hung up. These are like the longer, I think like 10-inch hooks for that, and it's really sturdy. The motors weigh about 30 pounds a piece, so that's holding up probably, I don't know, like 80 pounds of gear right now, no problem. With some mall anchors. Got a pier net, which I bought for pier fishing. And there's a sign that Lily and I made last week. It's about 3 feet long. I thought it was pretty good for myself with no real carpentry experience. And Lily, she's turning 11 this spring, so we made that together.